1 minute. We were 1 minute late as far as I'm concerned. Coming from Scientology, that's on time. Good evening. Good evening to all of my friends here, like Liz Tricks, Tracy Murphy, for instance, Little Mink, EVM, Brandy, you're a fine girl. I feel like it's been a second with you. Allie B. Kestrel, you're on time. Who else is here? Real Life Alexa, NJS55. Kathy G is here, just as I am. Carrie B made it. Catherine B. And Carrie B, not related though. Beverly, Susie Oberholtz, Miss Sunrise Dawn, thank you for being here. And mods, just thank you in general for being here, but I love seeing you guys. Michelle Asbell, Pajama Pixie, Layla Bradley, Teacher Nurse, Lisa Vining, Joanne Ventrilla, Sophia, Melissa, Susie Q, Jeannie Hansen. Donald made it. Malvikai's here, Marie Marion, Anita Card, Christy Lynn Wilson, Florence Southard, Baby Steps, Jessica West. Are you new? You're not new, but I don't see you very often, I feel like, Jessica. Rona Cooley. Kestrel, I love you. Dawn Van E, Sarah Bowman, Kim Greenleaf, Lori Caffel. You need me? Well, I love you, and I'm glad that I'm here for you. Deanna Downey, you are not chopped liver, by the way. I saw you say that last night in Colton Crims, you old silly. Tabitha, Susan Weimer, Indigo's Insights, Scientology. All right, then. I have a window open, and now I'm like, was that a mistake? Hey, Arwa, Deanna T, thank you for becoming a member, my friend. That is very nice of you. Tony Hoban, guys, the allergies are so bad here today. My mom just gave me a Claritin, which I take Zyrtec every day, and I'm scared to take both. I don't know. Meredith Lynn, Chris 10M, Vic Blair, Pat Jonas, Diane. I was going to say you're a member. Yes, you are, and you have been for 6 months. Thank you for that. I love you. I am Shailene. I'm not sure. Armine, thank you, girl. Baby Steps. Alicia, again, I hope you're feeling better. I don't know that I got confirmation that you're better, and I need to know, girl. Sherry LeBrun, Yarn Prepper. I made an $88 sale today. That's impressive and a lot of money. Good for you. Allie Harvey. Okay, you're fine. I figured Jessica West because I'm like, I don't see you that often. Nancy Davis is here. Frog Whizzer, I'm good. Mandy Harper, a rare occasion. I'm glad you made it, Mandy. Zelda. I don't want to know that, Brandy. You're making a Mexican pizza. Rub it in my face, Brandy. Mary Barons, just kidding, but it would be cool to know how to do that. Gracie's here. Real Life Alexa, that's funny. Cassie Mosier, you were in last night's live, and I feel like I didn't get to say hello to you. Hello, babe. Amber Vanass. Oh my God, waiting for my son to get out of the recovery from surgery. Been at the hospital all day. Okay, well, we're all sending Care Bears Unite prayers, thoughts, wishes that he's healing fast. I'm sorry to hear that. I did not know. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that, Alicia. Sassy's dad, Conroe. That was not taken at Chipotle. That was in Bell Buckle, Tennessee. Thank you, Robin W. I love you, Robin. Hey, Angie Mo, Iwa, Aileen, Lou, Kim Wiseman, you made it. Tracy's here. She's usually on the replay crew. That's awesome. Kathy G, Heather, Kansas. Thank you, guys. Purple Groovy, that's very kind of you to do that for her. Christine Nannon Vanderford. I didn't say hi to you last night, Cassie, but I saw you there and I felt sad that I didn't say hello. Oh, wow, Susie. Thank you for becoming a member. That is so nice of you. Helena, I love that you're here. She never misses a show. What are all the things on my lucky shirt? I haven't even really looked, honestly. Looks like there's a lot. There's a frog, a ladybug, a rainbow, a goldfish, a wishbone, a tiger, a key, a creepy hand, a dolphin, evil eye, I'm assuming. One of these, an acorn. Are acorns lucky? Okay, I feel like that's a stretch. Definitely a fortune cookie. 777. A shooting star. Yeah, okay, we can go with that. Definitely one of these things, a shamrock. I don't know if dragons are lucky, but I've always been a fan. And if I could own one, I would. Some dice and some socks. Some of these are a bit of a stretch. I like the horseshoe. Is that a pepper? Okay, come on. We just ran out of things to put on there. A frog? Give me a break. Come on. Do better with your designs. Christine, thank you for becoming a member, my love. Thank you, Arwa. Yeah. Hey, Arya. Oh my God. Susie. Hi, Gypsy Soul. My husband got diagnosed with kidney cancer. Now we both have cancer. That is absolutely devastating news, Susie. And I am really, really sorry to hear that. I'm really, truly sorry. As you know, I'm going through that myself with my father. And I knew that you had cancer. And I just hope that maybe it's early diagnosis. And you don't have to share that with us, but I hope for that, Susie. And I hope that he's going to be okay. And I hope that he gets really, really, really good care. And I'm so sorry. You're a big, big part of this channel. And I'm very sorry to hear that. That's terrible. Hello, SJ. I feel like it's been a minute since I've seen you. Frogs are good, Frog Wizard. Wizard, you get a pass. That's true, Tampa B, and I'm just happy to see you. Yeah, sending lots of love to Susie. Probably Tabitha, probably. Christine, you've been a long time lurker. Well, welcome. Tell Helena in here is a long time chatter now, but she was a long time lurker and now she chats with this family all the time. So I'm happy and I hope that you'll continue to just come out at your own pace. Hi, Dawn. I love that you made it. They say to pick up the first acorn you see in the season, put it in your pocket for luck. Okay, I'll pass. But you know what? I think that's a great thing to do for you. Susan Miller, have you sold your house yet? Oh my God. Katie Didit's wife was just diagnosed with thyroid cancer. That is a scary thing, guys. And sadly, cancer is quite popular, it seems, these days. And I don't know what's behind that. I don't know why, but it's scary. And again, I hope that the thyroid cancer was caught early, Katie Didit. And I'm really sorry to hear that. That's just terrifying too. It's really scary, guys. It's really scary. And I'm sorry. We're here for you. I want you to know that. I'm sorry. Hi, John Shamwowski. Hey, Tammy Morgan. Joanne Hawley made it. Teresa's here. It is, Cassie Mosier. It's very heartbreaking how common cancer is. It's a big fear for me. It's a big fear. And it's not easy going through it with someone, knowing somebody who has it. I can't speak to myself having it, and I'm sorry to those who do. Lucky Dragon Tax, Heather, thank you so much. I do like dragons. I always thought they were cool. Ex-witness Vernon. Hi, Reese. Hope you're well. How's Tommy? Tommy's doing good. I only talked to him for like 3 minutes today, but I think he's doing good. Honestly, we haven't chatted much today. I mean, I've heard this, that cancer is high because of garbage in food, whole foods, and growing your own. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I will tell you that for myself, I try to avoid like, GMOs and like bad dyes and things like that. But I'm no expert at that kind of a thing. But I do agree with you. Brian Lucas, I was wondering where you were. I do agree with you that I think it's always better to eat whole foods. And you know how they talk about going, of course, Katie did it. You know how they talk about going around, eating around the grocery stores versus what's in the aisles, because the more you go down the aisles, the more processed the food is. But guys, don't listen to me. I'm not an expert, but I just know that it's better to try to eat less processed foods if you can. And some of us can't because it's cheaper to eat processed foods. The more quality food you get, the harder it is to afford that, especially if you have families, and most of us do. So it's definitely a balancing act, and I get it. Now, growing your own food is something that I find very impressive. And like I said, I've been picking my mom's tomatoes and eating those. And I got to say, I feel better doing that just out of her garden. Amy Edge, hope everyone is doing well. I'm going to try to stay awake during this. I haven't been able to stick around during the lives lately. It has been a long week. Okay, well, babe, self-care first. Get your rest, Amy. And thank you for your super chat, babe. We love you. You can always catch us on the next one. Angie Moe, you finally saw one in Tennessee. They're kind of cool. Look, I didn't think they were cool in the beginning, and now I see them and I'm like, that's kind of neat. I don't know how to do it. Yarn prepper, honestly, I can't seem to keep a plant alive. So I'm not sure how good I would be at that. And I feel like I'd run out of patience. We need another late night Sleepy Reese marathon chat soon. When was the last one? What are you talking about? I don't do late night lives. Are you talking about our FaceTimes? You have to be, John. I love you, John. Shopping at Whole Foods is absolutely healthier, but what I'm saying is Whole Foods is no joke. All those places are very expensive. Now, I've always shopped at different grocery stores for that reason, because there's even Target to me has cheaper prices on certain things. Now, living out here in the country, I kind of have to take what I can get. And Whole Foods is expensive. And for certain things, I'm all for it. But there's no way I could buy everything I need at Whole Foods. I love seeing you, baby angel. I feel like it's been a minute since I've seen you. But I'm a big believer. Okay, that's what I thought you meant, Hockey Town John. I'm a big believer in trying to eat healthier. As I've turned 40, I feel like it's more necessary than ever to pay attention to what I'm putting into my mouth. And I have lost quite a bit of weight over the years. Like since I was I was diagnosed with diabetes like 4 years ago. And I was probably at my heaviest at that time. And since from then to now, I'd say I've lost probably close to 40 pounds, like 35 pounds. And that's not really because I was so much trying. The drug that I'm on for my diabetes makes me more full. So I eat less. Hey, Tony P. Hey, Annika's mom. I eat less. And I just try to pay more attention to what I'm eating. Hey, mommy of dragons. We were just talking about dragons. Helena, I was almost always here before. I just made my sassy comments in my head. Now it's forced upon you all. I am so glad to know you. I'm serious. There are so many of you. Guys, the reason I have this channel is to chat with you. We may have a topic, but I'm here to see you guys. So Helena, you're a big part of that. And everybody that decides to come out of lurker mode, it means the world to me because look, Dorky Mom, like she's an actual friend of mine. Hey, Robert Hull, like I've met you guys through this channel. Robin Miners, she's a huge friend of mine. DNV. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to the chat. Like people, Tampa B is one of them who's made actual friends through this channel, and I know quite a few of you have. So I don't want to force anyone out of lurker mode because I want people to do what they're comfortable doing. But just know that when you do come out, all of us get really excited to meet you and talk to you. Hey, Bridget Junk. So, Coco, welcome. I had a really nice lunch with my mother today and my stepbrother. I didn't post that photo, but I have 2 stepbrothers. And one of them, both of them, I never see. And I may post this picture. His name is Zach, and that's him. And then I took this really cute picture today with me and my mom. Look at how cute my mother is. She looks really cute. Her hair was pulled back. My mom's hair is longer than mine. Isn't that cute? You did, baby angel. Okay, that's who sent me that. I didn't know who sent me that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The problem is I don't have a DVD player, but I think my mom does, and I'm going to borrow it from her. So thank you. Thank you. I need to get one. And if I don't, I can always just buy one. I mean, I can probably find something like that used and cheap. So thank you for that, my love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want you to know that. I'm grateful. Thank you. But we went to lunch today and it was really a nice time. And like I said, well, there's Bobo. I never get to see my stepbrother. He's a pastor, actually. And yeah, Hockeytown John's made a lot of friends. A lot of us have. It's real. As much as people don't want to think it is, it's real. Hey, V. McWilliams. Hey, Beth Knows Photos. And he's a pastor. And I actually asked him quite a few questions today. Don't be sorry, baby angel. I'm just very grateful. Thank you for sending something to me. Aria, I love that. I love the friends I've made here. Just wanted to say, LaDonna, just wanted to say thank you for always making me laugh and always being a comfort. That's amazing. That makes me want to cry. I don't chat often. Watch daily on replay. Thanks for trying to break me out of Reese's PC's jail. Maybe one day. Kathy Ann, can we look into that? I need to know more about that. Not necessarily right now, Kathy, and I realize that you have your husband and kids, but I'd like to look into that. LaDonna, thank you for saying that. That really meant a lot to me. Thank you for your super chat. That's just such a nice thing to say. It really warms me up when you guys say things like that. Hey, P. Taylor. Hey, Simone. Thank you, Simone. Thank you, Kathy Ann. See, Dawn, I adore you guys. I feel so safe. This is what nobody can ever take away from us right there and right there. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. I don't care who says what. I don't care where you find it. I don't care if it's the written word, the spoken word. I love, love, love that you guys say you feel safe here. That makes me feel so good inside. It makes me feel very special, and I appreciate it so much. Busy Bumblebee, welcome. Anon, hello. I had no idea you have brothers. Thank you for the pics. And your mom is quite hot. Yeah, she is. I'm a 69-year-old gal and feel awkward saying that. She's the same age, CJ Harris. I do. And thank you for saying that. Helena, I mostly come so I can hear what you say. You say, I'm pretty. You are pretty, and everybody knows it. Holy hell, Helena is so pretty in that picture, but she's even prettier on Zoom. She looks just like Adele. And then she's on top of that Australian, which automatically makes you hotter. I don't know why. It's science, though. Thank you, Pat Hansen. You look forward to coming out of your shell. I appreciate your authenticity here. Reese, I feel a kinship with you, even though I am a never end. I feel that with a lot of you. I think this was my destiny, Christine. I never connected with Scientologists because I wasn't meant to be a Scientologist. And I think that's why I was in ethics and in trouble all the time and violating policy, because I wasn't meant to be there. And it was a square peg in a round hole. And I didn't fit like a lot of people do. I didn't submit like a lot of people do. And here is where I feel safe with you guys. And it's never felt more real. It never felt real in Scientology. I want you to understand that. It feels very real here, and that's why we keep pressing on. Oh, Robert, that's okay. We'll be back. Naomi Hales, it has been a minute. Ooh, Aria, thank you. I'm trying to use it up before summer ends, girl. Look, it's Rhonda McNeil. I don't know that we can pull this off in the winter, so I'm trying to do it for, use it up summer. I love that, Joni Allen. Please stay safe. Mary Barons comes here because she lives all alone. This is my home. Mary Barons, that is so special to me. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for sharing that. And you are at home here. Again, I don't care what people say. It doesn't make it true. I love that these days. I just love that. It's more real to me than ever. This is so lame. It's a terrible example. But my mom, Lori Lee is so cute. My mom said something about Taylor Swift and Kelsey, which I care, but it's okay. My mom follows up on stuff. And she was like, there's a rumor out there that they're not really together. It's just like a contract or something for publicity. And I was Rogue Hedgie. And I was like, what? What? And she was like, yeah, I don't know if it's true, but they say. And then I started thinking about my life. And I'm like, as little as I am, as a peon, I'm a nobody. Okay. Taylor Swift and Reese don't go in the same category. But what I'm saying is, I don't care if you're famous or a nobody. You can hear all kinds of things, guys, doesn't make it true. You can hear it from several sources. You can hear it from live video. You can hear it from the written word. I don't care. It doesn't make it accurate, is all I'm saying. Happy birthday to your son and my brother, Rhonda McNeil. I love hearing that. And a happy birthday. Gracie, send me an email. Go for it, girl. All I'm saying is I have learned now more than ever. I don't know, Robert, but I'm dying. I have heard now more than ever. What am I trying to say? I've heard now more than ever. No. Now more than ever in my life. Hey, Nico, West Coast Fancy Nancy. I don't believe what people tell me as much. Not that I did before, because in Scientology, Shelley Kelly, Heather MacArthur, they do this thing. LRH says, look, don't listen. So it's kind of the same thing anyway in Scientology. Like, you don't believe everything you hear. Look, don't listen, which I think isn't terrible advice. But now more than ever, what I'm trying to say is in the past, hey, Lucia, somebody might have said something and I would be like, no way. I would have never guessed that about him, or I would have never thought that about her. Weird. I don't take it to heart anymore. And that could be because of a combination of being on YouTube, being 40, like just not buying into that shit so much anymore. Brittany, I love you. I'm glad you're here. I love seeing you. But it's like, just because you heard that doesn't make it true. And I realize I'm beating a dead horse. And I also realize you guys know that because that's why you're here. But it is silly to me to like, why do we take something and go, oh my God, that must be true? Most likely it isn't. And, or it's a version of something. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What was I saying before that? Bo, it's just the wind. You're going to survive it. It's okay. Mir, you're all right. Where's Brian Lucas? We're also feeling a little sad. We're feeling a little sad because we have to get our hair cut, don't we, Bobo? And I know. And he says, he's been saying all day, Casey Anthony moved to Murfreesboro. I heard that too. That's a whole different thing there for me. I don't know how to feel about that. Yeah, Brian, Bobo, tell Brian your sadnesses. He wants to hear it. He wants to know. He's feeling sad. And he says, Mom, is there any way we can cancel our grooming appointment? And I said, unfortunately, we can't. We've been waiting on it for 3 months. And he says, but can we just book it out like in 3 more months? And I said, no, we can't. And he's feeling fairly depressed. His paws are totally fine. Actually, Naomi Hales, I talked with a vet. Well, wowie, girl, really special, born next to little Christ. And he stopped licking. And the vet said, as long as he has stopped, you don't need to bring him in to see me. Now, he's going to get checked tomorrow since he has a grooming appointment. But he has stopped. Oh, my God. Praise be. It's Katie Fulton. I love you, girl. Really overly judgmental, though. Like, we've noticed lately that you're really judging more than you have been. And she says, that's because I was born next to the Lord. Damn it. I can do what I want. Millie. Tony, I've lurked more than what is happening. I'm so sorry that got caught. I've lurked more than I've chatted, but this is definitely the safest place. Thank you. And thank you and your community forever provided it. Tony, see what I mean? That is huge. Tony, thank you for saying that. That means a lot to me. Hey, Candy Vice, that means so much. Puka Vista, Jen Pookie. I just really appreciate that. That means a lot. It's a big deal to me when people say that. Oh, really important. Really proud of yourself, aren't you? You're really into yourself and your thoughts. I know, SJ, it's a lot to take in, guys. You guys get excited when you see her. I get excited when I see her, and I live here. Like, I see her and it's like a whole new world. It's like a whole new day. Every time I see you, I think you might be a little smaller and a little bit more judgy, but we can live with that because I've never seen perfection before. You've never made a mistake in your whole life. Did you know this? Did you know that you were really tiny? Did you know you were going to be this small? Wow. It's a lot. Iwa, I don't know if I have. I'll look for it, babe. I'm really behind on Messenger, but I did catch up on a few the other day. It's hard for me because I am so behind on email as well. I bounce back and forth. How are you real, Cassie Mosier? Yeah, I know it's hard to get anything done here with Greta, SJ. Her new name, we also call her Lydia, we call her Linda, but lately when she's been extra sassy, we call her Greta. Sometimes you go by Greta when you're extra judgy. Did you know this? Did you know that sometimes you go by Lydia when you're being really cute and then Linda when there's a lot of sass? Oh, are we choosing Linda tonight? I love the smell of your pawpaws and you have to get your nails trimmed tomorrow. Did you know this? She's going to be very upset. She's already upset, she says. Judy Bug, when I said I'll miss Reese's live, my husband sent me home from work. Oh my God. That is so hilarious. That's so cute, Judy Bug. Lisa Vining. I lurk a lot, although you don't. I feel like you come in too, Lisa. I feel like I've known you for a while now. Oh my God, I sang Blessed by the Lord to the pit bull all weekend. Blessed by the Lord, kissed by the Lord, born next to Christ, kissed by the Lord. Really incredible. Oh, beautiful footy paws. Really gorgeous too. Really gorgeous. Is that going to be annoying with the window open? Do you guys hear all that? Although, what am I saying? I live out in the middle of nowhere. It's not like you're going to hear traffic. I know she is a furry Muppet, Shelly, and it is silly. Please do, Dawn. Kristen Melinda, I'm just glad you're here. I'm really happy to see you, actually, Kristen Melinda. Yes, we all know that you exist. We didn't forget about you in any way. Look at her footy paws. Look at her footy paws. I know, Sarah Bowman, it's a lot. Huxley's doing really good, Naomi Hales. He was on my stream the last time I was on my channel 2 days ago. Zelda says, and thank you for asking, Naomi. Zelda says, Reese, I also live alone. And the first thing I do when I get home from work is check to see if you're on the tube. So I have company while feeding my kitty cat, Stella. Thanks for being here, Zelda. I love that. Guys, I love the idea that I'm so connected to each and every one of you. And again, it just is. I just love it because it just is reality. It exists and I love it. And if it upsets people, it upsets people. But thank you for choosing to come here. Thank you for even trusting me. I know a lot about you guys and it just means the world to me. Shannon C. Oh my God, Shannon, that's hilarious. I know, Lisa, it's a lot. Yvonne. Moose today, he's not bad. He hasn't been bad. He's been actually pretty good, kind of cuddly. Hey, Bison. So there's something specific. Okay, Dawn. Oh my God, Gracie, that's cute. Would you mind sitting in your chair? Well, you look very upset about something. Are you upset about things? God, you're cute. It's a lot. So Care Bear Share. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time. So I was thinking about something today and I thought, well, I should hop on and talk about that. Would you rather just sit here? Of course you would. And it really truly is about different. Yeah, Cassie Mosier, can we get to the point, please? It really truly is. Carla Childers, that is the nicest thing. Reese, I call you to my family, my YouTube best friend. Carla, I love that. That actually really warms me up. And thank you for saying that. Oh, okay, Dawn. I am wearing number 91. Yeah, this is number 91. And again, it's just a summery color and I want to use it up before summer ends. I haven't caught a live in a while. I'm in the UK. It's 1 a.m. here, but I can't sleep. So here I am. But guys, I'm 50 days sober tomorrow. Never thought I would say that. Kay, that's incredible and good for you. That's a huge accomplishment. Guys, that's amazing. And seriously, congratulations. You sit in your chair, please. Thank you for sharing that with us and thank you for coming on. That's incredible. I hope you get some sleep though. You haven't missed much, Abigail. Welcome. Jan enjoys lives while doing things around the house, packing and getting ready to put my house on the market. Packing is no fun though, but good for you. Yeah, that's huge. Congratulations. I love this chat. Look at everybody congratulating Kay. That's so cool. I love you guys. You guys are really cool. Um, so there's something that crossed my mind, and we've been talking a lot about growing and realizing things, and I don't know, it's a whole thing. Turning 40, it's really changed some things. And I think being unmarried, I haven't, I don't want to say it's been a while. I just feel like I've been married a lot and not being married and kind of more focusing on myself and just my well-being and a whole new world here and different state. It's just very new, right? And I saw someone recently that I hadn't seen in a while. And I had an idea in my mind, hey, Kim is blue, of how it was going to go. Now, I hadn't seen this person in a long time. And it was brief. I saw them very briefly. So it wasn't like I got to spend a lot of time. But I already had in my mind, because of my last time I saw this person, which was a long time, like probably 10 years ago. Joanne just got back from vacation at my son. So back home myself again. So now back in my happy place here with everyone. Thank you, Reese, for making my life here at home not so lonely. Joanne, I love that. I hope you had a fun time with your son. That's really special, girl. And thank you for your super chat. I'm glad that you're back. Yes, DNV. I agree with that very much. No, it wasn't my dad, but I do want to talk about that too. Kay, we are really proud of you. Here's the point. When I saw this person and up to getting close to seeing this person, I knew it was going to happen at some point. I thought, the last time I saw this person was 10 plus years ago. And I was like, it didn't go well then. And, I was this way and I'm probably going to be this way around him again. And it just didn't. So I'm thinking, I'm building it up in my mind. Hey, Mama D. And this is a basic thing, but I'm realizing things more outside of the Scientology bubble than ever. So I'm catching up with you guys, and maybe all of you are going to go, yeah, everybody knows that. But it was totally different. And I didn't set the stage for that. Like, it was immature on my part to assume it's going to be the same version of how we were 10 plus years ago. Does that make sense? I picked up where I left off. It was the same version that I was going to behave, and this person was going to behave, and it was just going to be the same kind of headbutting that happened before. And it was shockingly not. And I think that's because, one, hey, Rockstar Gran, they're probably a different person. I don't know. They've probably grown. But I've certainly grown, right? Like, I'm nowhere near the same person I was 10 years ago. None of us probably are by much, unless it's somebody who doesn't want to change, who doesn't embrace change or believe in change. I don't know. But the point is, hey, Sierra Terry, the point is, it made me realize, thank you, EVM. Hey, Raymond, we are different versions of ourselves. And some are bad. We dip down. Hey, Peace Lady, we dip down, right? But I think it's more for me coming out of Scientology, realizing how much change is possible. And again, that sounds crazy. I know that probably sounds crazy to you guys, but I'm going to just say this. I don't believe I changed in Scientology at all. And I don't believe that I did anything to better myself. If anything, I believe that I got a little worse and a little worse over time. And I think that had a lot to do with the way I was programmed. I know that we change all the time, guys, but being in a bubble that's a hardcore bubble where we have blinders on and we're not allowed to see outside of that. And the longer you're in Scientology, the more the more the tentacles are even more, right? Like the roots go even deeper. It's not like you get better the more seasoned of a Scientologist you become more of a desensitized person. You have to remember, guys, people in Scientology don't believe they're human. We don't believe we're human in Scientology. It's a fact. So as I said that out loud, I just realized the longer you go in Scientology, the more crazy you get, the more crazy sounding, the more off the wall, like just thoughts you have, because the higher you get in Scientology, or maybe not even so much, because it's not like I made it super far up the bridge, but the longer you're in, the more seasoned you become, right? And the more people you're around. You go from, well, I don't know, because I was born into it, but like I've seen people join and they slowly but surely isolate everybody who's not in anymore. Like they lose contact. All of a sudden your dentist, your plumber, your doctor, everybody's a Scientologist, and you're there all the time. You go to work and you usually work for a Scientologist during the day, and then you go on course all night and you're on course all weekend or in session. So you are totally under the umbrella. And the more, hey, SMSP, the longer you are in it, yeah, Yvonne, I feel like the less human you become, the less tolerant. We talked about that the other day. You're very intolerant as a Scientologist. And I speak for them because I was there, at least the Kansas City org. Those people are very intolerant. Even, and I'm not talking, and I keep scratching right here. I feel like it's the allergies. My eyes, my nose, like everything's itchy. I'm sorry. Sorry, I lost track. I'm not talking about intolerant of the outside world, guys. I'm talking about Scientologists become intolerant of other fucking Scientologists. It's crazy, but it's true. Like the expectations just get more and more. They get more and more and more high as a Scientologist. You are not allowed to have fun, Zelda. And that's not a joke. You're not really allowed to. Like, for instance, I remember once that I wanted to go to a wedding for a non-Scientologist. And that was like, you wouldn't believe how shamed I was for that. And that would be considered fun, right? Going to a wedding is fun. No, you can't go to movies unless there was like 3 times we went to a movie and it was as a group church outing. So it's like 15 or 20 of us that all went to some movie, and it had to be either Tom Cruise or a John Travolta movie because that's what we supported. And so that was the only time. Like you can't do stuff that's fun because it's seen as a waste of time. Yeah, CJ Harris, absolutely. So the point is, I believe that's why I'm so excited about my life right now, because one, I can think for myself, and two, I've met the most amazing people on here. It's so therapeutic. You guys have no idea. It's like you breathe life into me, because I'm like, whoa, I didn't even think of that concept. Or whoa, I have all these friends that aren't judging me, that aren't, liking or loving me based on certain conditions. And all those conditions have to be whether or not you're going clear, and then your OT levels, and hey, hope between the dreams. So it's just a whole new world for me. It's a whole new environment. And so when I last saw this person, was like 10 years ago. That's how I thought in Scientology. I thought as a Scientologist was like, it's very negative. You're very negative as a thinker, because what do we always say? Like, how did I pull that in? How did you pull that in? What did you do to pull that in? What did I do to pull that in? Like, it's just all very like, you obviously, if tech goes out, ethics goes out, like things like that. So it's like, you obviously aren't applying the tech properly because you're out ethics. Like it's just very like pointing fingers, snitching, writing reports. Guys, it's just a cluster of negativity. It really is. And I see that more now than I ever have. Um that sounds like fun, except even though I'm not a germaphobe, those things gross me out. I'm like, how often are they clean? I don't know. I get creeped out, but thank you, Analytical Blarney. No, Shannon C. No. You're like Alice being dropped into Wonderland. Tell Tommy that. He'd probably like that. I never read that story, so I don't know it. But I think that's one of the reasons, though, I truly am amazed most days these days of my life when I even have an interaction with people, because I'm just like, that is so new for me. So when I saw this person, I had all these negative assumptions and I was like, yeah, it's just going to go how it did before. It didn't. You know why? I'm not in that negative mindset anymore. I have no expectations on the human race anymore. And I know that sounds dramatic, but it's the truth. As a Scientologist, you have major expectations on the human race, especially the non-Scientology human race. And you're just basically doing assessments all day as a Scientologist. Like, oh, I noticed their tone level was this, which equals that, which makes sense because, you know, they're really out ethics. And that's how you think. You guys remember talking about 1-1? 1-1 on the tone scale is the biggest one used in Scientology. People use it all the time. And if you don't like someone in Scientology, you just basically, all you have to say is they were super 1-1. They were really 1-1. All the time. That's all my dad ever used. That's all my in-laws ever used. My sister-in-law constantly, if she didn't, and I'm talking about other Scientologists here, guys. They eat each other. Okay. Other Scientologists would go, don't talk to her. She's 1-1. And when I hear that, or when another Scientologist hears that, you're like, oh God, get away from them. They're going to make me sick. Like, physically sick, not like you make me sick, but like I'm going to get ill around that person. They're 1-1. And we know how 1-1s feel about, you know, children and sex and all that. So God, stay away from them. Baby angel, you did not have to do that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You're funny. Thank you. So basic interactions for me these days, I don't have expectations set when it's a first time meeting somebody, right? Like first impressions are first impressions. I don't know how it's going to go. But when it's somebody like I met in the last few days, I was like, it's going to go like this because it went like this before. And I'm sure we've all done that. But the cool thing is, it didn't. And I don't know if it was because maybe that person is the same, but I'm not the same. Oh my God, Tony P. My sister-in-law thinks highly of herself. She was one of the biggest people in the Sea Org when she was in the Sea Org. She was the LRH communicator, or was she the LRH host? I can't remember which post she had, but yes, she was in the Commodore's Messenger org, CMO, which is right under RTC, the Religious Technology Center. I'm almost positive CMO is right under RTC. And yes, she was really impressed by herself, very, very much. And she would run around just doing it all day long. Well, they're 1-1. Well, of course they responded that way. They're 1-1. She's 1-1. Like they just label the shit out of each other, which is crazy because you're not supposed to evaluate. It's a big, big deal. Yeah, she's in Clearwater. It's a big deal in Scientology to evaluate. It's a huge violation. Evaluate means in Scientology. If I were to say to you, well, of course that makes sense. You know, you were abused by your father, and it makes sense that you're fearful of that because you can't talk like that in Scientology. You can't. I mean, first of all, coming out of Scientology, I'd never heard the words really anxiety before. Definitely not PTSD. Like I had to learn what that meant. I didn't even know what it meant. You're not allowed to use words like that. Anxiety is not a real thing in Scientology. It does not exist. Anxiety is a psych term in Scientology. It doesn't work. So you can't say I'm feeling anxious. Hey, Candy's life. You're so not 1-1. Well, that's sister-in-law. Hey, Matrix Rabbit. Thank you, West Coast Fancy Nancy. It's funny you say that because I had the guts one time to say that to her. I said, I hope you don't think I'm 1-1 because she labeled everybody 1-1 and it drove me nuts. We were at a Mexican restaurant once and I said that to her. I never liked her anyway. She was very full of herself. You guys know how I feel about dick swingers. She was terrible. But I said to her once, because she said at this Mexican restaurant, like 2 or 3 different people in the same hour. She was like, well, they're 1-1. They're 1-1. And I said, man, I hope you don't think I'm 1-1. And she was like, how could you be 1-1? You're not 1-1 because you're so forthright. And that was the word she used. And I said, forthright? And she was like, you are so blunt. She was like, you say everything. Because see, somebody who's 1-1 would say something like, who cut your hair? Your mom? Looks good. That would be like a 1-1 comment. It's a stab in the back. 1-1, you're smiling with a knife behind your back. We've all met people like that. They're slimy. You meet them. I spot that shit right away when people are like that. You know, I don't like people like that. I don't care what you want to call them, but I don't like people who are like, oh, like, I don't like that. Oh my God, that makes me think of a perfect example. Hey, Dee Dee Razzle Dazzle. Very passive aggressive. Abigail, you nailed it. Kristen Melinda, yes. Oh my God. We went to a restaurant recently. My mom and I had to take my mom into Nashville for an appointment. So we got lunch after. And oh my God, Raymond, don't do it. We go to this restaurant and it's so awkward when this kind of thing happens anyway. I was like, oh man. So we get seated in this booth and it's just my mom and I. And we sat there for like a good 10 minutes, which at that point, like I had gone to the bathroom and washed my hands. Hey, Shannon's Journey. And I don't know why I'm telling you this, but it was just funny. I went to wash my hands. Like there was time to sit there and nobody came to our table. So at this point, like my mom and I are both like, has anybody, like, I was like, did anybody come take a drink order? And this waitress walks 3 feet from me. Like she's very close to me. And she walks down. Yeah, I heard Casey Anthony moved here. Yeah. She walks down to another waitress and they meet right here. And I'm sitting right here and they meet. One comes out of the kitchen, one's coming down the aisle. And hey, Blakey. And she says right in front of me, like she must not have realized I was sitting there, which whatever. But she says to the other waitress, she points to me and my mom and she goes, has anybody? And the other waitress goes, I guess they seated him in this section. I don't know. And she was like, but no, I don't know. I haven't helped him. And like, I can hear this I'm watching it. I can hear it. And this waitress goes, oh, fuck. She was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll take it. And she rolls her eyes like she's so pissed about it. 3 feet away from me. And she flips around. She goes, hi, how we doing today, ladies? And I was like, good. I guess this is so awkward. It was so awkward because I was like, really? You just said fuck. Like you just were angry that you had to deal with us, which whatever, that's not my issue. But I was like, damn girl, like it sucks that you're being overworked here. Yeah, it was at Katie Bolton. It was so awkward. Now I live in Awkwardville, so whatever. I mean, it didn't get to me, but that's 1-1 big time because she was being her real self. She was like, really? She was like, fuck. And then she turned around literally, and it was like the 4th of July. She was so animated. And the whole time she's like, that's really good. And like, it's a salty, but if you like salty, like it was so much. And I was like, whoa, like it was just overdone. And I was like, okay. It's too much. I don't know. Thank you, Retired Red. I love you, girl. So anyway, that would to me be 1-1 to go like, really? Hi. Yeah, I don't like people like that. It's too much for me anyway. I was like, whoa, it's a lot. Riley's human. I love that you're here. Atkins in Texas, it was super weird. The Oscar goes to, yeah. So whatever. She could have been having a bad day, overcompensated. Yeah. It was weird, Katie Fulton. Yeah, it's like, it's just weird. Sometimes I want to go be a food server because I would be, you guys know, I would be fired like within the first week. And I would be totally accepting of that. Like I would have to get the job knowing I'm going to lose my job. First of all, bless those people, because I'm sure it's an incredibly difficult job. And I would immediately lose my shit on someone who's like, that's not what I said I wanted. And I would totally mock them back and be like, what did you say you wanted? Like, can you imagine me serving you guys? I would do it so hardcore. Plus, I have all this pent up aggression anyway. I feel like that, like, I would love to take out on somebody who's just awful to people. What do you think? Should I? I mean, I don't know. It kind of sounds like fun now that we're talking about it, actually. I would be so mean. I would snap at someone who is rude. Like, I would lose my mind at someone who's like, yeah, shards of words, the fakeness. Yeah, I would. Can you imagine? Like, I almost wish it would happen. I wish somebody would do that to me and be like, this doesn't have enough ice in it. I need more. Like, I've seen people treat people horribly, and it's like, oh my God, they're just doing their job. It's insane to me. Every time I go out to eat, it's probably too much. I'm sure they're like, you don't have to be that nice. I'm always like, yeah, I will take an iced tea, please. No lemon, but if you got the lemon, don't worry, I'll pick it out. No big deal. And I'm going to have a BLT, bacon crispy, but again, it's okay if it's not. Don't worry. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Like, I am overkill with being nice to people because they do have tough jobs. Like, I'm sure they deal with people. How many of us have gone to a restaurant? Okay, I don't know why we're going into this, but I cannot stand it. Hey, Kendra, when people go to the ex used to do this, and I think this is why it gets on to me so bad. And he would get so mad at me because the waitress would come over and they'd go, hey, how you guys doing tonight? And he'd be like, I'll have an iced tea. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I can't stand it. Like, good. How are you doing tonight? How's it going? Good. Can we have a conversation? Like, there's nothing wrong with saying hello. I'm always like, what's your name? I didn't catch your name. Like, having some interaction. He would be like, I'll have the steak and baked potato with it, that on the side. And I would always go, please. And he'd go, please. And I was like, it makes me crazy. I don't know why we got into that. The cellist is here. We don't have to say please. Jazzy girl. It's awkward. I do appreciate, hey, Gen P, people in the serving industry in general. Now, that interaction at lunch the other day, I also don't have any patience for people who do that. Like, I was 3 feet from you. I watched your reaction. I watched you roll your eyes. I watched you go, fuck. And I thought, ooh, yeah, that's unprofessional as hell. Now, I'm not going to call you on it. She was perfectly nice to us. I'm not going to, like, if she had been rude, I might have said something, but she wasn't. It was fine. Hey, Heather in the library, but still, that would be to me considered very passive aggressive. So, but I still think I'm on to something. Like, how fun would it be? I would absolutely go into it like knowing I'm going to get fired. I wonder if it would be easier on the hiring process to just say that to the manager and be like, look, this is more, I'm just doing this because I want to know what it's like. And I do want to try being a server, but just don't hold your breath. Like, I'm probably not going to be your best girl. I definitely will keep my other job. You know, it's not going to be the best service, but I would be overly nice to people. But the second somebody was like super passive aggressive on me, I'd be like, here we go. And I would be warming up my hands for the showdown because it would happen. And it would really, like, you guys would probably see me on the news. And I think that would be kind of a different opportunity for me as well. Luckily, there's a couple lawyers in the chat that I feel like would be Panko, definitely. Denise, our lawyer friend, TSS. Anyway, what was I saying? So she didn't think I was 1-1. Anyway, the point of this stream tonight, we had a point. I always tip extra, especially when somebody's really good at what they do. And I always tell them, as a matter of fact, the last time Tommy and I went out, she was new and I loved her. And she was like, I'm new. So, and I said, that's all right. I love your personality. And by the end of the meal, I said, I don't want to make this uncomfortable for you. So I won't do it if you don't want me to do it. I said, but would you be willing to bring your manager over here just so I can tell him or her that I absolutely loved you because you were amazing? And this girl's face, she was like, really? And I said, oh, really? I said, you are so good. I hope you stay here. And I said, I don't know how new you are, but you're really good. And if I ever come back here, I'm going to ask for you. Her name is Hannah. And I'm going to ask for Hannah if I ever go back there. And I probably will go back there. And the manager came over and I said, I don't know how long you guys have had this girl, but she's incredible. And I really, really, really like her personality. I said, her service was great, but I really like how personable she is. And that's important to me. You know, I don't want some robot. I want somebody that's got a good personality. And I said, Hannah is top notch for me. I would be her friend in real life. So, anyway, I love you, Lacey Silver. But the point of this is the different versions of us. And I believe coming out of where I've come from, I really probably have grown more than I realize because I had such a poor outlook. When you're in Scientology, I feel like it rains every day. And I didn't see that being in Scientology, if that makes sense. Like I couldn't label it. It's not like I could say, hey guys, I'm depressed or I feel sad. I feel depressed. You don't want to say that in Scientology because it's guys, it's a whole thing. It's a whole program you would have to do and you have to pay for it. No, you can't say that. Shards of words. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel sorry for all of the Scientologists who are still current because I feel it and I understand where you are now. If that makes sense. If there are any under the radar Scientologists watching, there is happiness and I didn't even know I didn't realize how unhappy I was. And I know there's a difference. There's proof. Yes, Yvonne, because I'm so happy now. I'm so happy now. I love talking to people. I love interacting. I love being able to think for myself. And it proved my point just the other day when I run into this person I saw 10 years ago because I was a different version. For the first time, I was a different version. I don't believe I was ever different versions of myself as a Scientologist. I pretty much stayed the same, gloom and doom, depressed. I weighed so much more than this. I feel like I ate a lot more when I was in Scientology, and I think that was a form of me coping and dealing with my depression. But the hardest part about this is that I'm thinking as I'm talking here, guys. I didn't have this to say. I'm saying it now because I'm realizing it. The hardest part I think about being a Scientologist, you're not very self-aware. So I can't remember a time where I was like, I'm depressed because it's the word that it's a no word. You can't use it. But I can tell you, I realize now looking back how depressed I truly was as a human being. I didn't feel like there was any hope. The loss of my dad and the fact that that was thrown in my face all the time because he was a current, active, very, very highly respected Scientologist. How do you think that made me feel? Being joined into a group of people who go, Gene Wally's your dad? I love your dad. Oh my God. I didn't know you were related to Gene Wally. I love Gene Wally. Do you know he's given $2 million to the Way to Happiness Foundation? God, what a great guy. That was my life. Do you know how depressing that was? Like a bullet for me. Hey, Tiff, that was so depressing for me all the time. It was rubbed in my face all the time. That was just one thing, right? But I was not able to be self-aware enough to, first of all, you don't look within. They don't want you doing that. They don't want you being self-aware. They don't want you turning the lens on yourself, right? Hey, Shelly, welcome. They want you going, well, what does LRH say? No. Look here at this policy. What does he say? They don't want you going, yeah, but I feel this way. Okay, great. Let's turn that attention onto what LRH says. So if you look here, he talks here about why you shouldn't feel that way. And that's it. And that is so disgusting to do that to a human being if you really think about it. That's like a piece of veal. Like, I feel like you're just in a cage and you're not let out and you're not allowed to see and you're in the dark and you're only shown what they want you to see. And you only feel what they tell you can feel. And that sounds extreme, guys, but I'm realizing it now more than ever. And I think the reason is I'm more now willing to take a look at it. Because I got to be honest, it triggers me to still think about and talk about Scientology, but I'm a lot better for some reason in the last 30 days, I'd say. I feel like I'm letting it wash over me a little more, and I'm more willing to accept it and take a look at it. I wasn't really willing to take a look at it because it was, the stream I did with Tommy a couple weeks ago when everybody said that L. Ron Hubbard was like a known drug addict. That really upset me. And I know that a lot of people were like, are you serious? Like, you didn't know that? Guys, I didn't know L. Ron Hubbard was married 3 times. I thought he was only married to Mary Sue, and he only had the kids he had with Mary Sue. Why? Because that's what they tell us. We are only allowed to know what we're told about L. Ron Hubbard, which was he's, the highest with honors in the Navy. And he was an Eagle Scout and a doctor and a scientist and a wizard. That's what we're told. You think we're allowed to go look otherwise? I had no idea that guy did drugs, but that took me about a week to get over because drugs are such a big deal in Scientology. I had to do my Scientology drug rundown on cough drops. I wasn't allowed to have an Advil when I was a child. I wasn't allowed a drug. My dad pumped us full of vitamins. I remember every day of my life being like 5, and they dumped like these horse pill vitamins and had to swallow them. I was never, if I had a bad headache or anything, salt and potassium, CalMag, we were never allowed. It was a big deal that I got a cough drop. I had to have that audited out. That's a good question. Did you ever look stuff up online before you left, secretly even? Did Scientology ever look things? No. Because it's a big deal if that gets found out on the meter. My ex-husband, Michael, my first husband, looked up something when we were married, and on Google or wherever he looked, it took him to the OT level information. And he told me about it. And I was like, oh my God, we are going to burn at the stakes for this. That is a high crime. It's a really big deal. And he got in huge trouble for it. I didn't tell on him, just so you guys know. I didn't tell on him. He told his mom, and she reported it. She reported him, and he was in major ethics for that. And I had to do an ethics cycle for that because I knew about it and I didn't report him. It was a high crime. Did your Scientology friends also ever look up stuff with you? No, nobody talks like that in Scientology. There was nobody that I ever knew in my 38 years, knowing hundreds of people, having all family members in it. Nobody ever once can I recall, except my ex-husband. I mean, every once in a while, I didn't with him, but he would tell me something horrible and why he doesn't think it's a good thing, or how, like, he would say, I felt like I was forced and I didn't have a choice when I was 11 or something like that. And I would be like, that's terrible. And then when we had Huxley, we said, we're not going to let him do Scientology because of what we went through. Teresa, welcome. So there were little tidbits like that, but no effing way in Scientology are you like with your Scientology friends. Now, Sterling may say something different. Aaron may say something different. I can't speak for those guys, but I know for me, there was no way that we were like Googling shit on the side, because if it gets found out, and it will, you're going to get put on the meter. You just learn in advance. It's not worth the trouble, because if you get put on the meter for that, you're more than likely going to be sec checked and on the meter for a solid 12 hours. You're going to be sweating. You're going to be hungry. You're going to want to go home. You're going to say, I want to go home. And they're going to go, I understand. I'll repeat the question. What the fuck did you do this time? There's no way. So you just learn not to do that stuff. Hey, Trisha Briggs. But I think that, yeah, I would like to read that book. I started to read it. It's right here. I have that book. It's a little bit of a tough read for me. Tracy C. Maybe it would be something better that I could listen to as an audiobook. I've never heard an audiobook before. My sister told me audiobooks are easier. So that's probably an option I should look at. It's hard for me to read that book. I think I got into like the first 80 pages and I really kind of struggled. But I think, thank you, Trisha Briggs. I think that's one of the reasons I have had a hard time talking about this stuff. You know, I'm still discovering a little bit about who I am. I feel good about who I am. I feel like I know myself. But I tell you guys all the time new things that I learn, realizations, and that was one of them. The person I ran into, and I thought, oh my God, it didn't go anything like I thought it would. It went beautifully. And there was respect and love and kindness. And I thought, see, that's just not the old me. That's not me as a Scientologist. And in Scientology, yes, Shelley, in Scientology, hey, Carrie L, I really am trying to convey this message to you guys. There is no hope. Iwa, barefaced Messiah, there is no hope. Your only thing that you look forward to is climbing the bridge and getting the bridge to total freedom. Okay. And if you can't afford that, like me, I was one of the people who is not a Dan O'Connor, you're shamed for it. So I didn't make much bridge progress because I wasn't willing to go into hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And if you're not willing to go into that kind of debt, you're very much looked down upon. And so the more I see it now, I get so excited about the stupid, just little things. I find tiny interactions with people and I'm like, that was so cool. Like, did you hear that person? And it's lame as hell, probably to a lot of people out there who've never experienced it. And I'm not trying to say poor me, like you guys didn't go through anything. Everybody's been through things, right? Hey, Roberta, welcome. Yeah, Shelley. But for me, this is new. Hope, light, just kind of the sky's the limit kind of thing. I no longer have to get in trouble for looking within, having my own thoughts. And then when I have my own thoughts, getting in trouble for that, and literally someone being like, no, read here. This is what you need to be doing, not thinking for yourself. And I'm in so many words, that's what happens. Angela Boo, welcome. Yeah, thank you for saying that, Angela. You are so very different than when I first saw you on a live with Aaron. I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much. That's such a nice thing to say. Thank you. But I think that's one of the reasons that I have stayed away from talking about Scientology and my own experiences as much as everybody else. And for whatever reason, I feel more ready to do that. I do. I feel like I want to. Can you refuse to not taking out credit card debt if you're stuck financially from moving? It's a hard thing to answer to. Thank you, Blake. I definitely went into credit card debt. It was over 10 grand, but I was not anywhere near what everybody else was. And one time someone came to me and said, you just need to take out a credit card and I'll help you do it right now. And I was like, I can't do that. I have a 1-year-old and a house payment and a car payment, and I just can't do that. And For those reasons, I was very hated. You know, if you can't do that, the reason you can't do that, they will tell you this. Hey, Sean P. Yes, Sean P. I would like to do that. I just need to find it actually. Because you are succumbing to the messed universe. They will tell you that. So when they come to you and say, you got to buy your bridge, well, I can't. Why? Well, because I have a mortgage and I have this and I don't make enough money to cover this as it is. And so when you give all these justifications, they roll their eyes and they go, oh, okay. So your PTS to the environment. Look, the messed universe is set up to pull you away from Scientology. The messed universe, messed, MEST, is matter, energy, space, time. This is messed. This is messed. This is messed. Okay. So the messed universe, hey, Tony Suter, they will tell you this over and over. When they're doing a reg cycle, a sales cycle with you, go to any Church of Scientology. I promise you they'll do this. They're going to go, Reese, come on. You're not even new. I don't have to tell you this. The messed universe is telling you to say those things. Of course you have a mortgage. Of course you have those pesky kids. Of course you have a car payment. Everybody does. This is the universe. We're not humans. We have to overcome that. We have to be at cause. The messed universe is pulling you away from Scientology. It's happening before your very eyes, and you're letting it win. You are going the effect of the messed universe. Hello? And then this has been told. I mean, I've heard this 100 times, either to me or to somebody. I mean, I've walked past to go to the bathroom at the org in session, and you can hear that conversation going on almost daily, going, are you seriously giving me messed universe justifications as to why you can't pay for your bridge? Now they do it like that too. They're harsh about it. They're either like, come on, Reese, you know better. Or I've walked past literal conversations with Dan O'Connor sitting there. They get the senior CS. They'll pull out the big guns and he'll come stomping down the hall like it's wasting his time. And he'll go, you're letting the mess universe get in the way of your freedom, your future freedom. You're going to let the mess universe decide whether or not you're going to go OT? Give me a fucking break. That's what they do. It's insane. I wish you guys could see it. I wish I could have recorded something like that. That's what they do. They shame the shit out of you. They go, you have a car? Of course you have a car. Okay. Of course you have kids. That's secondary. You need to not let the messed universe get in the way of your future. Right? You've had millions of kids. Big fucking deal. I have been told that. I was told that when my father told me that. My dad said to me, I had a brief conversation. As a matter of fact, Dan was the chaplain. That could be Raymond, by the way. Dan was the chaplain. He did the chaplain cycle on it. It's called a chaplain handling. And the chaplain is where you go when there's no ethics cycle anymore. It's kind of the last ditch effort to try to fix something. And I was 9 months pregnant, maybe 8. And I was talking to my dad, which I'd never talked to him, right? And Dan's on the phone with me. And Dan's like, what do you want to see happen? What do you want to see happen with your dad? And I'm like, in this point, I'm in tears and I'm all emotional. And I hadn't talked to my dad in almost 10 years. And I said, I just want him to want to be a part of my life. I want him to be interested in me, right? Like I said, I want him to be interested in something outside of Scientology. And because every time I ever talked to my dad, it was, why aren't you at the org? Why didn't you go to this event? Why aren't you on course? You're not putting enough time in. You're not going in session. That was it. He never once asked me about my job. He didn't even know what I did for a living. He didn't have any interest in anything outside of Scientology. So I said to Dan, I said, I'm about to have a baby, my first baby, his grandchild. I would like for you to be excited about that or even ask me about it. And his response, and I know you guys have heard this, hey, Hill Hath No Fury, his response was, are you kidding me? You've had millions of babies, billions of babies. That's what the female body does. It reproduces. Big fucking deal. I'm talking about your actual future of eternity, going OT. That's what you need to be focused on. And he would say that he said that. And he was like, forgive me for not being excited about you having another fucking baby. He was like, you've had billions of babies. And it broke my heart again. He had already broken it, but it broke me again. And it's kind of weird that Dan was the reason. Dan hit me over the head with a fax machine. Here we are 10 years later, and Dan's doing a fucking chaplain cycle on us. It was so weird. It really messed me up though. I remember like when he said that and he was like, forgive me for not being excited. I remember I was crying and I looked down at my giant pregnant stomach and I was just like, I'm sorry. I'm going to cry saying it. I was like, I'm sorry that this baby had to hear that. Like, it was so depressing to me that he's that far gone and you can't, like, Scientology just doesn't allow you to think like that, doesn't allow you to be happy for somebody getting married, having a baby, starting a life, like none of that. It's not, it's an excuse. Like that's getting in the way of your future. No one gives a shit that you're having a baby. And it was really hurtful. And today, even saying it, it's just super painful. It's just, it's a knife. It's like, wow. Which brings me to some unfinished business about my dad. And lately, I have been thinking about him more and more. And I think the reason is you guys know, if you've been watching lately, just why I am the way I am and some things that I feel like have not been resolved, maybe closed upon. Well, he lives here. My dad lives here. And I think he lives about 30, 40 minutes away from me. And thank you, Jen P. I don't know. Lately I kind of want to track him down. That's part of my shitty side of my personality is I feel like sometimes I feel like I have to do something. Like I have to like get closure on it. And I realize we've been saying lately, some things you just don't get closure on. Would you ever talk to Dan O'Connor if you saw him? Like try having absolutely I would. Yes. The problem with that is Dan would never talk to me, but yes, I would love to talk to Dan. Yeah, Raymond, I get that. Bo Beats. Go undercover, but tape it. How would I do that? I can't believe I just said that out loud. Mrs. Apple Watch here. Could I do that? Like record with my Apple Watch, I guess? I don't know. But I kind of want to find out, like, if I could meet him up somewhere. Like, obviously, he would never speak to me, right? Like, I couldn't call him and be like, hey, I live in Tennessee now. Can we meet up? Hell no, that's not going to happen. But no, baby angel. And they're terrified they're going to. My mom and sister do not want to run into him. I would like to run into him. I'm different. I want to run into him. Here's the question, guys. Could I? Should I? Like, could I look him up and find out, would it be weird to go knock on his door? Like, could I get in trouble for that? I mean, obviously, if he said, get the fuck off my property, I would leave. But no, I don't think so, Ewa. I mean, he's been my stepdad for 20 years. I'm happy with where we're at, but I appreciate you asking. And, maybe it's a bad idea, and I'm sure it is. I know, Teresa, it's silly. Like, I'd love to run into him in a public place. I don't, Yorkie mom. I know, Bo Beats. That sounds like fun. TP his house. Helena, I wish we weren't continents apart. Tennessee is a one-party state. You can't get in trouble, says Fancy West Coast Fancy Nancy. I've written him a letter 100 times, Shannon C. It doesn't do anything. How long did they all live in the same vicinity before you moved there? My dad just moved here like 3 years, 4 years ago. My mom and sister have lived here for like 15 plus years. Is he married? He is. He's married to an OTA who might be an even more horrible person than him. Peace Lady, that's a good point. She's an awful woman. I have met her many times, and she is absolutely horrible. She's a very nasty, vindictive type of woman. He's on his fourth wife now, which no judgment there, guys. If I get married again, it'll be my fourth. But what is the outcome you're looking for? And kind of like Peace Lady said, ask yourself why. Am I prepared for him to close the door in my face? Absolutely. You have to remember, guys, the last time I saw him, thank you, Tampa B. The last time I saw him was for like 4 hours at the Ideal Org opening. He sat 2 feet behind me and he never said a word to me. He said hello to all the people on either side of me. He was super loud. His hand reached across like my shoulder to shake hands with people. He blatantly ignored me. So that was horribly painful. I'm over it. I'm prepared for it, is what I'm saying. I kind of want to track him down. Why? I guess why not? What do I have to lose? I don't want to be in his life. It's just sometimes I feel, and this is just some weird thing for me, when a person is so bad. Hey, Rain. When a person is so terrible, and when they have wronged people so much, there's something about it for me. For instance, it's like being in public. Now, I don't always have the guts to do this, but like once a lady was tearing a woman who worked down. She was mad at her because she wasn't putting the jewelry she bought in the right gift box. And she was going off on this woman. I couldn't take it anymore. And I went over and I was like, that's a human being. And it didn't help that I knew the woman who worked there. I'd seen her many times. She was a beautiful lady. I loved her. And I just said, you can't talk to people like that. I don't care how much money you think you have, how entitled you are. I was really angry. And I was like, I'm going to get security or somebody in the store to get you to leave if you don't stop treating her that way. It's kind of like that for me. Like, what if he doesn't care? Tiff, he won't care what I have to say, guys. I have no hope whatsoever that my dad is going to listen to what I have to say. It's not for him. It's for me. I already am prepared for him to go, get the fuck out of here. But it's like that for me. It's almost like I can't stand by when somebody is ripping someone to shreds like that. I can't handle watching it or listening to it. So it's like he has been such an evil, horrible person. And I just feel like what's wrong with going to him and saying, you have been a terrible person. You have harmed so many people. You have beautiful grandsons that you'll never know. And you have really, what happened with the mean lady? What were her words? She said something like, I think she said, go fuck yourself. And I said, that's fine. I will. But I know this woman and you're going to stop. So she paid. And then, thank you, Gary. And then she left. And I stood there and talked to the lady for like 15 minutes. And I was like, just know that was absolutely a reflection on her, not you. And I know you and I love you. And I think you're a great mother. I knew this woman because I had shopped there a lot. I knew she was Iranian. And she had the most beautiful skin and she was a great mother. And I just was so pissed. And it didn't matter that I knew her or not, but it's just when people feel like they're entitled to treat people that way, it makes me absolutely insane. Okay, Shelly. So Yorkie mom, he doesn't care. Guys, I think we're kind of missing the point here. I know he doesn't care. This would be for me. This would be for me, not him. Even if I got to get 3 sentences out before he slammed the door in my face, it would make me feel better. I'm not expecting him to start tearing up and go, "Oh my God, you're right." I just really would like to say, yeah, Rain, I just really want to say, yeah, Pat Jonas, it's not about him. What would I say, Shelly? Just woke up, had to pee, saw you were live. Anna Witt, I love you, girl. Go back to bed, Anna. This is too late of a live for you. I love Anna Witt. Anna Banana, I'm glad you made it. Yeah, it's for me. And I would probably have to think about what I would say. I wouldn't cuss. It wouldn't be trashy or hateful. I would just say something like, you absolutely broke my heart. And it has taken me a long time to work through the hatred. Because in the beginning, I really loved you and then I really hated you. And I have a wonderful child that you'll never know. And you hurt my sister, you hurt my mom. And I hope that if there's a heaven, you don't get in. I hope that you have to pay or answer for what you did. I really hope that when you die, you feel some sort of a burn like we had to, because you really deeply hurt me. And I don't think I've realized it until it's taken me 40 years to get here. And I needed you to know that for me, not for you, because I know that you are a robot and you have no emotion and you don't go, you're not capable of loving. But I needed you to know that. And now, you're almost 80 years old and at some point you're going to die. And I just want you to know you're going to die with no love in your life and no love in your heart. And that was your choice. And we could have all been a family. Shelly, I would love that. And I would love that, Rain Virus. Thanks, Jazzy girl. I'll tell you right now, though, if I ever see him out in public, damn, Kim is blue. You're more of an investigator than I am. If I ever see that man out in public, oh, I'm going to hit go live so fucking fast your head would spin. I would hit go live and I would absolutely go up to him and I would not respect his personal space. And I would say, well, look who it is. And he would have to get up and scurry and get out and go to his car, wherever he would be. And I would take you guys with me, because not for views and publicity, but because I know that I would have my real family with me during that. And I would need you guys there with me. I would want that. And he, again, he would. Helena, you're in my head. I worry that he would enjoy your pain and distress. He would. He absolutely would. He's, I was going to say a monster. I don't really like that word. But he is truly, I think, an ugly, evil spirit. I think he's a terrible person. You'd have to be, right? Something happened to him. And I don't know if it was in his life. I don't know if he was born that way. I can't speak to that. Hey, Muffet Lou. I am Muffet Lou. Abigail, I love you, girl. Thank you for saying that. FaceTime me however I can help. Blake, and I believe you. I would absolutely think of that, doing that. I love you, Blake. He's evil. And I almost don't need to tell him that. Like, you don't need to know you're evil. I feel like you kind of know that. Again, people know what they're doing, right? There are people who get happiness out of other people's pain. And I love you, Tiff. But I don't know. And maybe it'll pass, but it's been weighing on me lately. It's been on my mind. And the fact that he's 30 minutes away from me, I mean, don't worry. I'm not going to make some rash decision and just go pounding on his door. This would take me a while to get the courage to do it. And it would take me a while to, Snake, I love you, to work through the idea of doing it. I would not just do that on a whim. I would really have to think it through. I would talk to my therapist, which I'm sure he would say it's not a good idea. Does my dad have siblings? Yes, Scientologists, Nacho's mom. And that's a whole other thing. One of them died, passed away of lung cancer, my Aunt Linda. That was his sister. And the other one, my Uncle David, his brother is a Scientologist and has been since the 70s, like him. And they absolutely hate each other. He always called him an SP. And I never got to grow up knowing him. Where's the red flag there? Ask Aaron. Aaron said this once. It's a huge red flag to have active Scientologists hating each other like that, especially family. It's not like Scientologists all have to rub elbows and hobnob and do things together, because they don't. That's not the case. You can totally go to the org and not like Bill, but I mean, you don't hate him. You just don't really talk to him. You don't do anything with him. Fine. No, Creekside Acre. If he had a change of heart and came knocking to apologize, would you forgive him? I don't think so. It would have to be a situation like a case by case. I don't know, but I doubt it. No, there's too much hurt there. I don't think so. No, he doesn't even follow the rules of the cult, Naomi Hales. Like our Uncle David, I never got to know until I joined staff. And then he was there actively. And you know what's super weird? And I'll just say this. I feel like we're going too long here. When I joined staff and I was in ethics, this is so weird. It just made me think of it. He wrote a report on my dad. He wrote a knowledge report. And I know this because I was in ethics and I got to read it. And he said how terrible of a father he was and it needs to be known. And he said, he took my sister and Brianna and I, but he said mainly me because Brianna left. Brianna went into the Sea Org. He said he was very inappropriate and showered and molested with me in the shower. He said that. He wrote a report saying he essayed me as a child. Now that was absolutely insane. I panicked when I read that for a couple of reasons. I was like, did that happen? And I just blocked it out. Like I don't remember it, but no, it didn't happen. Oh, I love you too, babe. It didn't happen because my dad hated me. Like my dad never touched me. He never hugged me. He never said, I love you. Like, I think because they hated each other so much, that was just like his way of shots fired. It was insane. It was absolutely crazy. You were never heard by him. You just wanted him to hear hugs. Yes, you never deserve it. Baby steps. That's such a good way of putting it. You were never heard by him, but you want him to hear. That's it. I want to go stand on his front porch and go, I don't give a shit. Don't even open your mouth. I have something to say because you have walked the fuck all over me for 40 years. Whether you have been around or not, you've been in my head. And there's a few things that I need to say to you. I love you too, babe. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, it was a very creepy, and it made me feel all kinds of disgusting ways. It made me feel very, very uncomfortable because at the time I loved my dad. There were no bad feelings there. So I was like 14 when I read that, and I was like, what? First of all, how could you report that? You were never even in my life. Like to say that makes no sense. You weren't even there. But I'll tell you, I even over these years currently, I think about that report and I'm like, was that somehow true? And I just don't know it. Like, I don't know enough about childhood SA. I respect it. And I know it's happened to many people, but I don't know if, I'm sure people block things out. And then I started questioning that. I was like, did that, but it just didn't. Like there's nothing comes to my mind. And thank you. But it was a deeply uncomfortable place to put me in as a 14-year-old kid. He knew I was going to see that report. And he knew that I loved my dad. And so I was like, oh my God, like, did that happen? But the more as an adult I became, I was like, He hated me. He never held my hand. He never said, I love you. He never gave me a hug. He was cold as ice. So no, I really I don't think that happened. But what a terrible thing to say. Um, what a terrible rumor to start. Like just terrible. Absolutely horrible. Vicki Andrews, welcome. Hey, Barbie. Thank you. Canonico. This was therapeutic for me. This was emotional. I'm glad that we talked about it. And I'm glad you guys were here to listen to me. Please make sure you're subscribed while you're in here. No one seems to, well, I don't want to say no one checks that, but it's like, I don't know, the numbers. I keep getting people unsubscribing, but I don't know if it's YouTube. And clearly the views are high. So I don't understand. I don't worry about it, but I feel like I should mention it. Rain virus, that's an interesting concept. Hey, Just Joan, I want you guys to think about it. I love you too, Barbie Hall. I want you guys to think about it. Thank you, Sarah Bowman. And let me know. Again, this is not going to be some crazy decision I make out of nowhere. Elena, I love that you're here. But I want to know what our thoughts are on that. I want to know if you guys think it's a terrible idea. I'm sure it's a terrible idea, right? Thank you, Jazzy Girl, for saying that. You're always so validating, Jazzy Girl Sarah. Thank you, A. Kenneth. I just don't know. I don't know if it's right or wrong. Sometimes I make bad decisions. I don't know if you knew. I'm Reese and I make bad decisions. Thanks, guys, for checking. Best to see him from a distance, Kim is Blue. Well, he's not a violent person. I don't worry about that. He won't do anything. He would laugh, most likely. My dad, I'll tell you, he is extremely condescending. Extremely 1-1, guys. If I said, you really hurt me, he'd go, you're a suppressive person. And you've always been a suppressive person. And I called it on day one when you were born. And now everybody sees the truth about you. Like, as far as I'm concerned, my dad is probably the person writing all the shit on Reddit. Like, he hates me. I don't know if you guys really understand. My dad, if someone called and said that I was killed in a car accident, he would go, thank God. I'm glad she's off planet Earth. And I feel bad for the next person that gets that Thetan. That's what my dad would say. So I totally get that he's going to laugh in my face and probably enjoy, if I were to run into him and cry and say, you broke my heart, he'd probably enjoy it. Bring somebody with me. I don't think I need to take anybody with me, Shannon C. I am Reese and I make bad decisions. That is a good merch idea. Maybe just for me. I don't think any of you want to wear that. Aria, I guess it is possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. Probably, Tampa B. Blue Ridge is your dad? Damn, that person hates me. I love how much people hate me now. It's actually flipped to a funny thing for me. It's like, holy shit. People really enjoy hating me, and I kind of enjoy it myself. I just think it's the biggest, craziest thing that I take up that much time in somebody's head. Tommy better think about me that much. I'll tell you right now. Like, Blue Ridge better not outdo Tommy as far as like how much they think about me. Those people are effing obsessed, and I'm kind of here for it. Alicia, I think you're probably right. And guys, I probably won't do it. People do need to get a life, but Shelly, they're not going to. So I'm their life. And I mean, as long as I don't have to pay their bills, because I make so much money here, don't forget. I know, Angela Boo, maybe wait a little bit longer. Guys, I live here now. We don't have to go rushing to do this. And again, I already know my therapist is going to be like, no, that's probably not a good idea. But he also would say, if you got to do it, do it. He's not a violent man. I'm not worried about that. Well, you always know you made an impression. Did I ever? And apparently so did Blake Reed, Keela, There's quite a few people that take up a lot of space, matter, energy, space, and time in their heads. Blessed to Crochet, I'm just glad you made it, girl. That's an interesting concept. I could land on his property in my helicopter. What a great idea, Kim is Blue. Wisdom is, if it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. Well, that's definitely true when it comes to fashion. And I want you all to remember that. My God, my mom tried some shirt on, and it's amazing, Tampa Bay. And she was like, I don't know, though. What do you think? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, but I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, do you like the fabric though? And I was like, Mom, you clearly don't like it. You're trying to sell yourself on it. Don't get it. Don't waste your money. And she was like, but I don't have anything like this. And we do that. I feel like women do that. We've got to stop doing that. It's like we just said, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. Like, I don't shop much anymore, but if I'm going to spend money, it better be something I know I'm going to wear. I know I'm going to love. Guys, come on. Like, let's not do that because I've done it too. Thank you, Yvonne. I like this shirt too. It is kind of funny. It's a cute shirt. Thank you, Blessed to Crochet. But guys, let's just think with that from now on. Seriously. And it doesn't have to be clothing, just anything out there. If you can't decide, it's a no. It's a no. Don't do it. Don't waste your money. Don't do it. We do need to stop that. It was so funny. But my mom's like that anyway. But she was just like, well, I mean, I don't, it is going to be fall. And she was like, it is long sleeve. And I was like, that's why we're buying this, because it has long sleeves. Put it back right now, Diane. Put it back. Like, stop goofing around right now. Yeah, if you don't love it in the store, you're not. Why would you love it at home? You even took the time to get naked and put it on in the fitting room. You tried it on. You don't like it. We can tell. Yeah, Raymond, absolutely. So, guys, on that note, I'm going to hop off. Barbie, that's funny. I would like to do a lady co-stream. Oh, speaking of, real quick, Cam sent me my guys. Remember, Shelly ordered one. Look, I got it. Isn't this cute? Look at the balloon dog and the opal looking butterfly, and there's an R, and there's lips because we like our lipstick. What am I doing? Look at this. I wasn't even looking at the screen. I'm sitting here showing my hand. Why didn't anybody say anything? Look. Okay, there we go. Lips and a tiger, and look at the balloon dog. Isn't he cute? What else is there? There's a lock for Tommy because we have our crim. What else is there? I can't do this. Okay, multitask. There's an avocado because we love avocados. There's an ace because I don't know why. And then there's that. Yeah, isn't that fun? Guys, go over to Instagram and follow her. It's called Fountain City Charms. And you guys remember Cam, she worked at Lady Co. And I just thought that was really cool. Isn't that I've never had a charm bracelet before. It's loud, but I like it. Shelly got one too. I love you, A. Kenneth. Thank you guys for being here. I know it was silly. Oh my God, Chow Yan Smut. I love you, girl. Marissa Martin came. I love you guys. Check to make sure you're subscribed, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. Probably. All right. I love everybody. Thank you for your super chats. Thank you for your memberships. As always, your wisdom. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Aw, Rain Virus, I love you. Tell Joe I love him too. All right, guys. Liv's mom, Carol, you know I love you. Abigail, thank you for the kind words, by the way. Mary Barons, I love that you come in here because you enjoy the chat so much. That makes me feel really warm inside. Helena, I love you, girl. Good night, Candy's Life. I wash my hands to keep away from Satan. That was for Candy's Life. All right, SJ, love you guys. This could go on for years. You know I love you. Thank you. Thank you, mods, for being here, and I love you guys. Oh my God, I almost just hit end stream. I thought I was on Colts and Crims. Here comes Fred. That was silly. All right, bye, guys.